Good morning, everybody. Today I have for you a quick review of some watercolor brushes that I got online on Aliexpress. Actually, they are advertised as calligraphy brushes, but I've seen many artists online that use these brushes for watercolors, so I thought this may be quite a good idea to have a set of inexpensive brushes to use as watercolor brushes, and they look quite nice. So we're going into the details now of the brushes and see if they are any good. I'm gonna give you a full review, and hopefully this will be helpful if you want to purchase them. They came with this quite beautiful brush travel pouch, travel roll, I don't know how you call it, and it's made out of straw. I have already another one of these rolls, but this is actually much nicer than the one I own, so happy days. We have a total of 10 brushes, from a very large one to a very teeny tiny one. The brushes seems of very good quality. They are made out of bamboo, and apparently the bristles are natural. They come coated with some sort of glue or agent to keep the point fine and not to get ruined in the shipping. So I'm going to go ahead and soak them for a few minutes in some water in order to get rid of the glue and be able to use them actually. I like that all the brushes have this little plastic cup that you can for sure reuse if you're traveling with the brushes, and it's a very nice and quite good quality as well. It's quite funny because I found that the brushes with brown bristles came very clean and very soft straight away, while the ones with white bristles, might be goat hair if I am right, are really stiff still, and you can tell from the sound they make. So I'm gonna let them soak for other 3 to 5 minutes and then we'll see. So it seems like that somehow we got there, and even the white bristles turn quite soft. But the thing that I'm concerned about is that the water turned into a really nasty whitish color. The first thing that I've noticed is that they are losing quite a bit of a hair. I believe this is normal, but yeah, I'm kind of concerned about that. I'm gonna try and give it another rinse to see if it's just loose hair that needs to come off anyway, or if it's a bigger issue of quality control or something like that. I've noticed, by the way, that there's no indication of brush sizes. The only writing that we have on the brushes is this Chinese lettering, but as you can tell, they come in quite a variety of sizes, from a very fat brown one here all the way down to a teeny tiny point here. In their website, they actually have some sizing and some more description. So apparently, from what I can tell here, this is 1.1 centimeter in diameter, all the way down to 0.3 centimeter. Although they don't really mention what materials and what bristles they are made from, I suppose that the white ones are made from goat hair. Meanwhile, the brown ones, if they are not synthetic, they're probably made from beaver or something like that. If we want to compare with other brushes that are more ready available, I think the big size brush is almost a number 3, and these brushes are from Jackson Art, the mop brushes that you can quite easily find anywhere. So a number 3, I would say, is the same size. Meanwhile, the very small one is probably comparable to a Raphael number 2, and let's put them to the test now with some watercolor and see how they perform. I got here some Canson paper. This is a mixed media paper, 240 GSM. It's a very light paper and I really don't like using it for watercolors. And I got my Schminke palette. If you want to see me setting up this palette, I will link the video below. So let's start with a bigger one. Still, I'm really upset about the hair loss of these brushes, but let's do what we can and hopefully it will stop once we use them a little more. I'm gonna pick up some red and they seem to be really soft. Like the bristles are extremely soft and apparently they hold a lot of water. So yeah, it's exactly like I've seen in other artists' videos and they hold a lot of water. So I'm sure they are quite good for big washes, or if you're used to natural bristles probably it's quite a good pick for you. I'm actually very impressed about the line variation. You can get very fine line with this chunky brush as well, so it's very good. Let's get down to our next victim, and this is what I think it's the goat hair. So I'm gonna pick a blue now just for the crack. And same here, you can get very big washes and hopefully very thin lines as well. Let's get down to this fancy brush here with our red bristles. I don't even know why they are red, but I'm very impressed about how they hold water. I find that really interesting. And let's get into this very small one as well. And yeah, this is really tiny. So it's probably good for very tiny details, or if you're looking to do some inking as well, you can use this brush. It's very good. So what's the score here? So far, I really like them. I think they are really good quality brushes, even though the price is really low, which is really, and I'm saying really a lot, it's very strange for good quality brushes. The only concern that I have is this hair loss situation that we have here, but yeah, apart from that I can't fold them so far. So they look expensive, they feel good, they seem to behave quite well on our paper and with watercolor. So now let's just put them on the test with a proper watercolor painting and see how they behave there. are my final impressions? First of all, they are gorgeous brushes. And I must say that because I was really skeptical, but they definitely perform very well. I feel like it's quite interesting because the bristles are really long. So if you're used to regular watercolor brushes, this may be quite challenging. I found that when you're stroking the brush downwards, the bristles tend to stay that way and they don't flip up and get back into a point straight away. So these are calligraphy brushes and it may take some time and some experiencing and exercising to get to that level of perfection that you actually want from a watercolor brush. Apart from that, a minor point is that I kept finding bristles coming off the brush all the way through the painting. I don't know if that will stop, but for sure bother me a little bit. But apart from that, they are gorgeous. So for €9 you have 10 beautiful brushes. I definitely would recommend the first 4 and probably this one as well. These other are really tiny and they don't suit my kind of style very well. But at the same time, if you work with very particular details or line art and stuff like that, or ink as well, they would be perfect. So for €9 I will say I got 10 brushes and 5 that for sure will be part of my everyday brush set. Would I recommend them? Absolutely yes. And probably I am going ahead as we speak and buy another set of these brushes because they are absolutely stunning. I really hope you enjoyed this little review, and if you did, please consider to subscribe to my channel. If you liked, give it a thumbs up. You can find my art on my website irishfarmart.com or on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You'll find all the links around. And I'll see you very soon. Slán!